Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for your support of Indie Agency News. And let's meet an indie agency. We go to one of my favorite cities in the entire world, San Diego. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the best tacos. We're going to talk about why the Chargers should come back. We're going to talk about all sorts of stuff. But most importantly, we're going to be talking to Reid Carr, CEO and ECD, Red Door Interactive. How are you, buddy? Thanks so much for joining us.
Great to see you, Doug. This is great.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So let's dig into this first. So let's talk a little bit, just give us a little background on the agency and what you would say the agency is best known for.
Well, I mean, outside of being in San Diego and a great place to work and live, we've been around for 23 years. Obviously, as we're all talking about independence, I think being here in the corner of the country that we're in, I think we're known for this kind of Southern California perspective that's not LA. I think we come from an area of that kind of independent thought right across the border. So we have quite a bit of influence from other cultures. It's a Navy town. So I think, we really try to adapt to a culture of inclusivity, a culture of mixed perspectives. And then with all of that, I think that's integration. It's how do we bring all these perspectives, not to mention all the tactics that we have access to that kind of bring it down into kind of what's that role in marketing? How do we get all that together and coordinated such that we have a cohesive story through what our clients are typically real complex businesses. I mean, I think a lot of companies think that, there's all sorts of complexity in every business, but, we work with brands that, they're conglomerates, healthcare, point of care, universities, places that have many different stakeholders that want to see, their perspectives, create some alignment, but also want to see their perspectives show up in the work. So I think that's what we've gotten to be known for, certainly here in our community over the last 23 years.
Yeah, and I think one of the things about San Diego that people forget, and it is interesting, I like that perspective because I talk to people at an ocean, they're in Huntington Beach. And so similar thing where it's, yeah, we're LA-ish, but it is a different cut of the jib. And I think that the one misperception that people have about San Diego is it's flip-flops and surfing all day long. However, it is a very serious city that is very serious about doing really great and interesting things. And so I think that there's an undeserved misperception. Now, yeah, it's a totally different way of living down there, and it's fantastic. But yeah, don't misunderstand. San Diego is a serious place. So for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do it. We have such a lovely lifestyle that we can't have, and that means we got to pay for it. And
you got to work hard for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to work real hard for that. Now, every agency has a list of things that they're very, very good at. However, we all know this. There are a few that generally rise to the top. What would you say the top 3 core strengths or solutions that you're providing for your clients? What are the top 3 for you guys?
So we like to think of that solution set, right? So customer acquisition, like you have looking full funnel solution, but really focused on how do we acquire more customers through the funnel. So that's kind of really brand oriented down. Performance lift. So we have a lot of clients who have strong brand perception. And so we're trying to create acquisition optimization strategy.
Oh, he just crashed.
That was a hard drop.
That was something. That was wow. That was impressive even for that. Jesus. No, it's okay. It's okay. I can tee you up again. Fortunately, there's a good break point, which is fantastic. All right. So let me run this back. So every agency has a list of things that they're very, very good at and solutions they provide for clients. But there are usually a few that rise to the top. What would you say are the top 3 for Red Door Interactive?
Yeah, and we like to think of it in terms of solution set. So within all of that, what we typically have is we think about it customer acquisition. So, brand first moving down through the funnel, but all through integrated tactics. The other version is clients that really already have a strong brand from their perspective and moving kind of optimization tactics all the way through the funnel, kind of back up, if you think kind of bottom up.
Hmm.
And then balancing all of that with a what we call tech scaffolding, where data, technology, and putting all the pieces in place that balance out the customer acquisition and performance optimization, so that we're supporting and making good decisions throughout that funnel. So then finally, all of this is then again alignment. How do we
Right.
create alignment within the organization such that we have all these tactics working together, but are they consistent with what the business needs, particularly for those complex organizations with multiple stakeholders where there's a lot of communication required. So we put a lot on, we call our business managers. So other agencies might call account executives, but put a lot of accountability there on those presentations internally, selling internally within our clients,
Hmm.
to make sure everyone they believe that the work that we're doing is driving performance within the business. And I think that's the key thing when you think about, like, what are we best known for? What were those solutions that we're best set up for? Is, I think, that's why we have those clients that are 15 plus year long
Right.
clients. We always are adapting to what are the needs of the business and how is
Right.
marketing supporting it. And if you don't sell internally, you're not sticking around.
No, you're not. And the other thing too to think about, because you've used the P word, performance.
Yep.
Now, you and I come from a certain era, um, more so me than you, by a long shot. But we are of an era where it's wasn't called that before, but
Right.
work needs to work, and so
Yeah.
you talk about some of the tactics of this, but the importance of getting good creative work out as well is really important. And
Yeah.
how does that fit into the way that you're looking at it from setting up your clients to be successful?
Yeah. That was interesting. When the people started calling it performance marketing, I used to say the same thing. It was like, all marketing should perform. And so
Right.
what I think what really started to happen was obviously data
The
analytics, and
data.
you have
Yeah.
better exposure to how it's performing. And now you're kind of managing to that performance. So, I keep coming back to, we think about these things in real simple structure. And in our world, we call it our post framework. So positioning, objective, strategy, tactics, and
Mhm.
targets. So within all that is, are we establishing every metric we have in place that works up that ladder? How is it reinforcing the positioning? How does it
Mhm.
attach to the objectives of the business, which frankly are usually what I would say two or things, which is how do we make more money or reduce costs? And in all likely, everyone wants to get that third, which is both of those things.
Sure.
So how do
Right.
you align those with then, here are those strategies, how the metrics matching up with those strategies? Do we have the right tactics in place that move the needle on those strategies? And if the numbers, we talk about is, if it's green in one of these categories and not in the other, it means either we have the wrong tactics or the stuff's not working. And so we kind of ladder all these things back down. At the end of the day, layering on brand and putting things at the top of the funnel, if you just play at that bottom of the funnel, you're really never introducing yourself to new people. And that's where insights come in. And that's
Right.
why we named ourselves Red Door Interactive. Oddly enough, you talk about the bygone era.
Right. Right.
The idea of interactive for us was not around digital or anything like that, which I think it started to get equated to digital. But the idea that you need to start interacting with your consumers, because that's where the insight is it's in
Right.
conversation.
Right.
And so we can find the insight, attach it to business objectives, but be meaningful at the positioning level. And that's why I put that at the top of, like,
Right.
really, how are you different, and why is that difference matter to the right audiences? Then that's where, at the end of the day, performance comes from that.
Yeah.
And then it's professionalization, it's scaffolding, and some of those things,
Yeah. Yeah.
where that's where we are today.
I love that.
It's technology.
No, I think it's fantastic. So you covered a lot of really strong reasons why a brand should work with you. What's one piece of wow, like really, like a brand, your client, you don't have to name it, you don't have to name check
Yeah.
the client, but when a client came back and was like, wow, okay, awesome, thank you for that.
Yeah. So, what I will always say, and I mean, with any client where I think there's a wow moment, whether it's on either side of it, is when we've identified something that was already there.
Mm.
Because I think that a lot of times that's the wow, was when they go, I never saw ourselves that way. And because of
Oh,
the insight that we got, that, you're talking to their best customers. I'm a big believer in that kind of net promoter, because again, if you've got
yes.
raving fans,
Yep.
then you really need less of you need less advertising if all of your customers think you're the best thing and want to tell everyone about it.
Right.
So how do we make sure we maximize your kind of those nines and tens and those net promoters, and why are they that way? And then
Mhm.
obviously, how do we find more of those folks? But when you kind of get down to the inside of it, it's not the, as they always say, feeds and speeds, features and benefits. You're
Right.
finding something and you're telling them something about themselves
Yeah.
that they go, you know what, your customers value this about you, and then finding that clever way to articulate it.
Yeah.
And it's not always, it's not in not say most of the time, it's not in a Super Bowl commercial or
Right.
anything like
I mean,
that.
those are fun, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, we want to absolutely do. We want to do that. I mean,
yeah,
because it's that you participate in
huge
culture
impact.
at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, exactly.
But at the end of the
Right.
day, some of the ones that are most powerful, these kind of micro targeting that create this groundswell
Yeah.
movement, because you found something out to the right, maybe even small group of people that just mattered so much to
Mhm.
them. To then they want to tell other people about
Right.
why they love this brand, why they love this product, and you got to nail it in that way.
Yeah, it's what was the shampoo growing up? They tell two friends and so on and so on and so on.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Fabergé,
yeah.
something
If you
organic,
don't look good, we don't look good.
something, who
Yeah,
knows? There's
yeah,
gonna be some OGs out there that
yeah,
so please remind us of that.
yep.
Whether they are full-time freelance or whatever they are, whatever role they play, why should talent be putting Red Door on their list?
So a few things. Like I said, I mean, the fact that we've been around for a while, and we have our leadership team has been around for 15 to 20 years, and depending on the individual, I think what we've really invest in our talent, and grow with our talent. What I don't want to have happen is people, they come here and feel like to grow in their career and accelerate in their career if they go somewhere else. So we have learning and development specialists. We have a fantastic place to live if you're in San Diego. If you're not, that's
Right.
okay too. I think largely the epicenter is here, and we've always been hybrid since day one. So for 23 years, I've always said, kind of be where you need to be to do the work you need to do.
Yep.
And so I believe in accountability and adult conversations. When you need someone to come in, you ask them and just plan ahead, things like that.
Right.
So what I believe in, flexibility. I think we offer that quite a bit. We have really talented, smart people that want to be here and have been here for a long time.
Right.
Collaboration, if you want to be in a team environment, we are not about the individual in that sense, though we want the individual to feel like they can contribute themselves. One of our core values is 100% jerk-free environment. Everyone
Right.
loves that one, but at the end of the day, what that means is I want you to bring yourself to work. Feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you have a different opinion, people will respect you for that different opinion, whether it's the only different opinion in the
Right.
room, because that's what's going to make our work better.
Yeah.
So if you want to be here and be part of that, and work on very interesting brands, it's not always the biggest out there, but you'll know who they are. You get to work directly with the most senior folks there and have a direct impact on it. And they're looking for clever solutions. It's not always the blunt force stuff that you put out there. It's,
Right.
we've got to be smart about this.
I will always say this. So 15 years in radio. And so you want to talk about, and building in-house at radio stations. I mean,
Yep.
a little bit of a bottom feeder thing there, but I mean, look at me. But no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But if you think about it, what I loved about it was it was hard.
Yeah.
It was, and listen, I'm not trying to be cavalier about any of this. I know I've seen Super Bowl ads being shot. I know how hard that is. I
Yep.
have seen, like, I get it. I get it. But for somebody coming up, especially a creative, get yourself into the messy, messy, messy stuff and raise your hand for the thing that, like, you wouldn't ordinarily think you would want to work on, right?
Yep.
So just like insurance, for example, it's like, okay, you're not going to be working at Martin for Geico, but you're going to be working for this, this smaller thing here in, Riverside County. It's like, okay, cool. it's going to be a different brief,
Yeah.
but the more reps you get on that, it's going to prepare you for whatever is going to be next. And like that stuff is really interesting, because I would rather take a brand that, and in a category where there's an opportunity to try some stuff, as opposed to, oh no, we're really super well established and this is the way we do things.
Yeah. And I couldn't agree more. I think you finding commodity type products where the only
Oh
thing
yeah,
you can
yeah,
do
yeah.
is differentiate in
Yeah.
brand, story, packaging, like something around the
Yeah.
product, because everyone else's stuff is about the same.
Yep.
We worked on a salt brand one time, literally NaCl,
Salt.
right? Everybody
Salt.
NaCl, salt, you know?
I
And you're
love
like,
that.
it's the same. And so like, what is your
Oh
opportunity?
no, this salt is no, I get it.
No, so what do? You like, how do you better serve the customer? How can you be inventive about the way they work? What can you do differently in packaging? Because you
Mhm.
understand that consumer so well that you find that nuance. It's going to make, boy, the
Right.
way that product that's just like everybody else comes out, it works better for my life.
Yeah.
Or the brand. For whatever reason, I identify with this brand better than I do something else because the price is comparable.
Yep.
So little things like that, I think that's really the stuff that tests you. I mean, when it is,
Yeah.
what they said with the old Steve Jobs thing and Nike, right? Is the only thing your only job was to not screw that up, like, and certainly everyone has
That's
that
funny.
job too, and that's also
Right.
challenging, no doubt.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
you know,
So speaking of salt brands, Jacobson Salt here in Oregon, we got a chance to,
yeah,
yeah. So
the alignment with golf right
I
there.
want to throw that in there before we get to the next question.
Go Ducks.
And by the way, this right here, this is a horse bite that hasn't healed yet, by the way. So we're recording this in July, mid-July. I'm just going to be honest with everybody. Mid-July. By the time this airs, the Ducks will be 4-0. But I do want to take a moment to acknowledge your alumni-ship to the University of
That's
Oregon.
right.
But I also want you to take a moment to talk a little bit about your current contributions to the University of Oregon and to the program, to the journalism program.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I'm the big believer in contributing to that next generation of talent. I got so much from that when I was at University of Oregon. Wyden and Kennedy would come down and speak to us.
Yeah.
Nike folks would come and speak to us, and getting that real world experience on the perspective of what does this job actually look like is way different than just getting which I also value the academic component of
Right.
consumer behavior and art direction and copywriting and the value of that. So my opportunity to give back, coming from flying up there, a few times a year,
Yeah.
to the School of Journalism committee, the Journalism Advisory Committee.
Yeah.
So we're there to look at curriculum and see what the programs look like and interact with students. I certainly, wave the banner, say, hey, there's an opportunity for you down here in San Diego as well, because I think the talent that they put out is fantastic as well. And the exposure, like you just showed the Duck and what we have with Nike and all the other brands that are up there. Obviously in Portland, Adidas has a presence there on running, not to mention Columbia. So there's a lot of influence that creates great students. And I think the school thankfully has, I think, maximized that as well in terms of their outreach. And I'm glad they reached out to me and said, hey, would you contribute that? And I think speaking to students is again, it's, if we here, this is about being an independent agency, I say frankly as well, is because I believe we need the next generation of talent when they walk in this door ready to go. And that's my effort toward contributing to that, because I want Red Door to live past my lifetime. Someone else is going to be in my seat at some point as an independent.
Ditto.
And I need that person to be of high quality, and I'm going to do what I can to make sure that we make that happen.
Be ready to go and be ready to learn.
That's right.
Yeah, be ready to contribute, but also, no, it's not going to be perfect. Shout out to Deb Morrison, by the way.
Oh my goodness, Hall of Famer,
right?
Fantastic. She was so instrumental in reshaping the curriculum that Oregon has right now. And I sat through her presentation of what that curriculum is going to look like, how she got to that point. And I couldn't be more excited for the kids that are graduating from there here in the coming years.
Couldn't agree more. All right, I'm going to go to the last question. Well, there's two more questions actually. So we'll call that an interstitial.
Is it? And that's when you in your final exam where you're like, and there's only one more question left. Question.
Oh
A,
no,
B,
there's
C, D.
7 more. Sorry. Yeah, no, I teach at Portland State, so I get it. I get it. Do you consider yourselves weirdos, misfits, or underdogs, and why is that? I think I know what the answer is, but I'm not
No,
gonna.
I don't.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna be
I
prescriptive.
think we're underdogs, man.
That's
I think
exactly right. Why is that?
we're sitting here in San Diego. Like I said, it's the other part of Southern California that sometimes, unless want to go on vacation, maybe sometimes overlook. We have incredible talent, clients, capabilities, breadth, and we have what we also have are the misfits and weirdos within the halls. I think that help us produce great work, and we value them so greatly to really be the team that we are. That I think can punch above our weight.
Yeah, I love that. The last one is a question, but it's also more of a thought exercise.
Okay.
Whether they are a client or not.
Yeah.
Which CMO or marketer do you want to say hello to?
So here's what I'm going to give you as categorically, and this because it speaks a little bit to well, it speaks.
You're going to hedge. All right, that's fine.
Well, no,
I'm teasing.
What I love is those highly commoditized, at least in a perception category.
Right.
So I love right now airlines. I think there is a very fine line. There's a few that I think kind of stand out as being something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like a Singapore or something, they have their perspective. I think obviously we see where Southwest is and maybe some of the challenges that they're going through as well. But I would love, I think, because of the challenges of diversification, the challenges of, hey, what route am I going to take, and do they have the route that I need? Meanwhile, I think the data and the opportunities and the complexity. I love complexity. I love that commoditization component of it, but so I would say as a category, travel, tourism, hospitality, but specifically airlines, and that would be looking at you kind of like the Deltas and the Uniteds and and go down that list where I think there's interesting challenges. Alaska ahead for the industry.
Alaska's my favorite. Part of it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as you know, right? Pacific Northwest, we use it. We've got the card carrying member here.
Boy, am I card carrying.
Yeah.
Now we're going to discuss tacos.
Yeah.
Is that backwards or is that right? Does it look backwards to you? Is that photo backwards, or am I just have this mirrored? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out.
No.
When we
it's good. Yeah,
it looks good. Okay, so it's good. The mirroring. These are so. I can't even explain how good these are.
Yeah.
Please explain taco culture in San Diego because Tacos El Gordo, that is Tijuana style.
Yep.
So I just walk us through this whole thing.
Yeah.
And like the fish tacos in La Jolla are amazing. So walk us through this, please.
Yeah, there's a taco culture here because that's the thing is like, which tacos do you like? You're like, well, it kind of depends on what we're going for here, right? So you've got your local taco shop, the various Bertos that we have around. That's right around the corner. That's your kind of your late night quick go to. That's still pretty good. You have everyone's got a neighborhood spot. We have our Verdes El Ranchero. You've got your fish tacos. You have your versions of it, like a Rubio's. It's like your classic kind of quick serve version. That's fantastic. And then you have like a tin fish that's like down in the downtown of San Diego that you sit there and I want to watch the Comic-Con folks wander around.
Oh my God, right?
Right. Taco stand, if anyone has that. I mean, you have your particular, I have the ones, particular go-tos in there. That are like a little bit different. And then you've got your upscale ones that you have at any number of more upscale Mexican restaurants that will have your moles and some of that. So
down and dirty though.
Right. Oh yeah. No, I mean, there's nothing better than a down and dirty version, but when you have so much of it around, it's now you're like,
good. Yeah, you want to sort of break it up a little bit.
It's like going to Italy, you got your Northern Italian, your Coastal Italian. Like we've got that just for fish tacos.
You just opened up a sore point with me. I'm half Italian. So I'm going to say that Little Italy in San Diego is fantastic. I don't acknowledge Northern Italy. It's not. That's German.
All right.
No,
okay.
They're Swiss. No, my family's Southern Italian.
Yeah.
No,
have you seen that Nona's, the movie Nona's?
It was fine. Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah.
But there was the battle about what
it was. No, it was.
The region.
That's real, by the way.
Yeah.
That's very, That's very, very weird, real. That was Lorraine Bracco, right?
I think you're right.
Oh, the best. Like that whole cast. Like I look at them like,
Yeah.
oh, the best. Talia Shire was in it. She was one of them. The
Yeah.
best. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paisan Central. But yeah, Little Italy in San Diego is remarkable. It
Yeah, and
is. It
it's
is.
it continues to develop, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that about our culture here. We got
Yeah.
the food scene is really. I've been here now for 25 years of the and where it is today is if people haven't been here in a while. They definitely I advocate experience it. We got a little something for everyone.
And I'm not going to say this, but I'm going to say this. There may be things that we might want to do in San Diego as
Yeah,
indie agency news, which stay tuned. Stay
yeah,
tuned. We want more people to come to our little neck
yeah.
of the world. So,
We're here for it.
all right, man. Listen, go Ducks.
Yep,
Appreciate your support and keep on keeping on, man. We
you
really
got it, buddy.
appreciate it.
Well, I can't wait to see you down here soon.
All right. That's the
All right.
awkward part where we stare at each other. Let me hit end recording.